Krystal with the Krafty Creech DIY-by-Dar from DIYs-by-Dar. I accept your challenge. I'm actually kind of looking forward to it, so let's get into it. Hey, I'm Margie with the Asking Spot, where I'm always asking, can I keep something from a landfill? Once again, I got really lucky and I got this piece of furniture because my neighbor didn't want it anymore and texted me. So walked outside, got it off the curb. I had a couple ideas of what I wanted to do with this, but I definitely ruled out the one that required fire. Because, you know, everybody seemed to frown on it. No, it wouldn't work with a piece that was already whatever. It's an MDF piece, so yes, there is going to be some painting on this piece, and it's okay. It's not an antique. Let's get into it. First things first, so I got to clean it off. When you use furniture polishes, they leave a residue. So I use what I call a degreaser. I'm sure there's more of an official term, but it's basically a mix of vinegar and water, and that's how I'm cleaning it off. Then to give it a scuff sand, I do not have to get all the way back to bare wood. It's a veneer, so it's really not safe for me to try it because there's just big chunky MDF underneath this. Also, I'm going to be painting it darker anyway, so I don't have to worry about bleed through or anything. I'm just going to put a black base coat on this piece first. Okay, see this? This is every indication I need to know that this is poplar wood. So poplar wood, well, and the MDF down here, poplar wood is super blotchy. So yeah, I'm gonna paint this and I'm not gonna feel bad about it.
You've mentioned it.
Check it out. New product. Well, to me.
It's not new.
I don't think it's new anywhere else. But I'm very, very, very excited. It looks like exactly what I want. Now, I would have been doing this with paint effects and techniques, and it would have taken me forever. So, woohoo! I'm very excited. Now, if I can keep my ADHD in check and actually go ahead and do patient light coats, waiting a minute between each, this should be great. I have to say, when doing a project, more than anything, it's the prep work that takes a lot of time, making sure I had this taped off. And now I'm going to spray the base silver first so that I have less chance of a bleed through. Then I'm going to put the gold on top. And then right down the center, copper, because you know I love copper. So happy when the tape reveal has clean lines. Okay, so I'm using chalk paint. I'm going to water it down, and I'm trying to, like in the front part here, I want to brush it on relatively quickly and then wipe it off because I sort of just want to make this brass look a little dingy, and definitely in the receded parts, I want that to be darker. Then on the sides, I used a couple different ways of wiping it off. I used, a napkin. I tried some, I think that's a t-shirt with bubble wrap, and even a sponge. I'm trying to just, again, get it to have sort of a weathered look. But some more paint's coming that's really going to do that part. All right, now here's kind of a newish technique I'm trying on this one. I've done some patina for copper before. I'll have links to those videos. I kind of love doing that. But that's usually a case where it's humidity is coming all over the place, giving it the patina. When it's going for rust on, say, this, hammered metal kind of thing, it's more like I'm trying to do either that, there was perpetually water dripping down on this, or maybe it got scraped and now those are causing rust to get in there. So that's the look I'm shooting for. To add some more dimension to my steampunk look, I have our host Krystal to thank. She's the first one who got me thinking about using air dry clay on furniture. And then I started looking into it more for the steampunk effect, and that's when I ran into ART woodworking furniture. I'll have a link to her below as well. But she's the one who showed me these guys, which I will have a link to these guys in my description box. These molds are great, but she also added a really cool tip if you're working with molds for air dry clay. You put it in your clay in the mold, and then you put it in the freezer. That way, when you take them out, and you're moving them around and whatnot, you keep much more of the definition in there and much more of what was originally meant to be, and you don't smudge it off as easily. Then once it's been, frozen in there, you take it out, you put it on whatever piece you're gonna put it on, let it dry as it would, then you can glue it on as you please. But yeah, definitely freezing them makes a difference. As for the amount of time, I think she mentioned like she just puts it in the fridge for a little while. I forgot about mine.
Boom! ADHD.
Fun. And anyway, so I got them out the next day, and it still really worked, and it was a great tip, and I'm very thankful for that. This took so long, and it's just a case of being wishy-washy. I'm only showing you part of the ways that I moved this around. I slid all the pipes in, slid them all out, back and forth. Ugh. But once I got these guys kind of down where I wanted them, I also had picked up a package of gears. I got these from Amazon. Again, I'll try and have a link to them in my description box. They're so shiny and so pretty. So again, more wishy-washy, deciding where everything should go. I kind of like the idea of the gears sort of being like a little serpentine throughout the handles and incorporating the handles as if they were gears too. Don't worry, paint is going to make them all look much more like they belong together. But first, I had to adhere them with E6000 and let them dry.
Okay, she's dry.
I painted all the clay, most of it copper, and some of them I did a little test patina on it. That's why there's some different colors there. Now I'm doing a black wash over this. I just used some acrylic paint I had around, watered it down just slightly. And as you can see, I'm slopping it on there and then sort of dabbing off the brush marks. I kind of want to get it just so where it gives it some depth, where it's some subtle dirt that's been left behind. Next, it's copper patina time. This is sort of a teal blue we've got going here, kind of on the green side. I'm adding that, and then I'm also doing some touches of white in there too. all this layering just gives it more depth, more age. So section by section, I am liberally blotting on some of the green paint and then gently dabbing off some of it because I don't want to take off as much as I did with the black paint. I definitely want the green to stick around. And then, touches of the white. There was one other thing I did, but I just had an impulse to do it, and then I forgot to turn on the camera. So I did the right thing, kinda.
You should see a doctor, a good doctor.
So sorry, but here's basically what I did to get this final effect is I dabbed a napkin into some of the copper paint and I brushed it back and just kind of wiped it back and forth so I could get sort of a brushed metal appearance, and I could then put highlights back on some of the galvanized piping. So I went ahead and glued on some of the gears to these handles. And now I'm gonna give them a little rub and buff highlight so they'll match more of the brass that's already on the piece. Thank you again to Krystal and Dar for this challenge. It has been great. I learned some new stuff that I look forward to using again. I want to encourage you to watch my fellow YouTubers. Also, I'll have a link in the description to the rest of this playlist and something at the end too. But let's take a look back at where we started. And if I could also ask thumbs up, click the subscribe button. Really helps out the channel and I appreciate it greatly. And now, here's the final results. I have to say, I'm in love with this piece. I was thinking I should sell it, but part of me is like, no, I might keep this one. So there we have it. Thanks so much for watching The Asking Spot. I cannot thank Krystal and Dar enough for this challenge because it pushed me to try something new and I really enjoyed myself. Blah, 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 blah.